for well now we are. I say salon man and woman as a me. Waiting do we sweet salon for well now we are. Where we get we gold, where we get we diamond, where we get we iron or white for well we. Where we get we root type, where we get we bauxite. This can water plenty, why for well we oh. I say salon man and woman as a me. Waiting do we sweet salon for well now we are. I say salon man and woman as a me. Waiting do we sweet salon for well now we are. If petrol day, lights day na the whole country, motocar day one open no white for well pan we. If parents get good pay, pikin go school. If teacher get good pay, all pikin they go land. I say salon man and woman as a me. Waiting do we sweet salon for well now we are. I say salon man and woman as a me. Waiting do we sweet salon for well now we are. Waiting do we sweet salon for well. Waiting do we sweet salon for well.
Sierra News Broadcasting Corporation Television on Channel 31. Good evening and welcome to News at 9 HG Live on TV. Coming up on News 2040 foot container capsized at Inside Bypass Road. Local Commercial Bank officials takes over Union Trust Bank, and Ministry of Employment summons Malala Travel Agency on allegation of recruitment of 28 Sierra Leoneans in Qatar. The stories are all lined up on News Hour Tonight. Stay with us as always if you can. Welcome back to News Hour, reaching you live on the SLBC TV. Those were the headlines. Now for the full newscast with me, Dennis Fraser. To begin News Hour tonight, many people have frowned at the recent loss of lives to container accidents in the city at the Hillside Bypass Road by Gaza area. A 20-foot container capsized, causing traffic jam in the early hours on Wednesday, June 17. Cynthia Kamar captured the scene and now begins our coverage.
Residents around the new road bypass Gaza Junction confirmed that they heard a loud sound at around 5 a.m. on Tuesday, 17th June. When they rushed to the scene, they saw that a container had fallen off the truck that was carrying it. When I witnessed the scene, I noticed the container did not have a twist lock, and even the chain that was used as alternative appears not to be strong enough to hold the container. This caused the front tire of the vehicle to suspend while the container rolled off the truck to the ground. Some say it was better the incident happened at night, as it would have been more disastrous if it had happened during the day. They registered their frustration on the persistent container accident while describing it as negligence in the part of the authorities concerned.
Almost for longer involved, almost for longer dead. And this one here, this area when you drive by, it will take time.
The lives of citizens are at risk. We want the authorities at Waterkey to ensure every container is well screwed before leaving the quay.
The chain no good. The chain are just small chain in those here. From Waterkey, they cannot properly pay for months. They cannot check and pay for months. They just come on out.
And essence now we jump to the block. We can be the it's now all that and I'm going to bless you with the night. You don't see Bangladesh.
Okay. Though no lives were lost, it was a clarion call to authorities concerned to do the needful in order to prevent such from reoccurring in the near future. For SABC News, Cynthia Kamar reporting.
Yes, LBC is closely following up on that unfortunate incident there, and will bring you updates as and when necessary. Now, Wukele Commercial Bank has officially taken over Union Trust Bank. According to the governor of Sierra Leone, Dr. Ibrahim Stevens, the resolution came into effect late 16th June 2026 after a thorough forensic review of an independent institution coupled with violations of certain provisions of the Banking Act of 2019. It was also said that Union Trust Bank was unable to meet its staff financial obligations, among many other factors. Therefore, the Union Trust Bank ceases to exist as a licensed institution in the banking system. Here's an excerpt of his statement.
The transfer of the transferred business, that's UTB, was successfully completed yesterday, 16th of June 2026. So as of midnight tonight, UTB ceases to exist as a licensed financial institution in Sierra Leone. What is the legal basis of the resolution? The Bank of Sierra Leone has acted in accordance with the Banking Act 2019, including and specifically with respect to Section 69(3)(c) relating to insolvency, Section 69(3)(e) relating to unstable and unsound operations with no reasonable prospects of recovery. Section 69(3)(g) relating to failure to comply with supervisory directives, and Section 68(2), which mandates the Bank of Sierra Leone to protect depositors and preserve financial system stability. The Bank of Sierra Leone and the government of Sierra Leone have given careful consideration to the welfare of UTB staff throughout the resolution process. Given that UTB does not have the financial capacity to meet its obligation to staff, and this is important, go and look at the balance sheet of UTB. They don't have the wherewithal to meet the financial obligations they have to their staff. The government of Sierra Leone has agreed to fund the payment of end-of-service benefits to all UTB employees. This decision was made in the interest of social stability and to ensure that the affected staff are treated fairly and with dignity. All staff of UTB will be transferred to Okel Commercial Bank as part of the transition arrangement.
And that was the governor of the Bank of Sierra Leone, Dr. Ibrahim Stevens, ending that statement there. Now, Ministry of Employment, Labour and Social Security has summoned Malado Travel Agency on allegation of taking Sierra Leoneans to Qatar in the name of seeking employment for them. In a statement from the ministry, it views this concern with utmost seriousness for the safety of Sierra Leoneans already taken to Qatar. Yusuf Mosiri Suma tells us more.
In a public notice dated 16th June 2026, the ministry cautioned and summoned the Malado Travel Agency over the legality of recruitment for 28 Sierra Leoneans under the pretext of securing employment opportunities for them in Qatar. According to the ministry, they will treat it with utmost seriousness because such has the tendency to expose vulnerable Sierra Leoneans to high risks relating to their safety, legal status, and financial security. The ministry further noted that such actions constitute a direct breach of the ethical recruitment standards governing private employment agencies in the country. According to the ministry, on the 3rd June 2026, it summoned the agency and granted it 5 working days to remedy the situation by submitting authenticated employment contracts for each of the 28 Sierra Leoneans already transported to Qatar. However, according to the ministry, the 5 working day ultimatum has expired without compliance. The ministry has therefore instructed the agency to immediately repatriate the 28 Sierra Leoneans concerned or risk the suspension or revocation of their license. The ministry says it is in close communication to ensure that the rights, welfare, and protection of the affected migrants are safeguarded. It further said it remains committed to promoting safe, orderly, regular, and dignified labor migration for Sierra Leoneans seeking employment opportunities abroad. In recent time, the ministry said it has observed through international media reports that certain agencies and individuals are recruiting Sierra Leoneans for overseas employment to Russia and other conflict-affected zones around the world. In the public notice, the ministry stated that the government of Sierra Leone strongly disapproves of any attempt to facilitate the migration of Sierra Leonean citizens for employment, particularly within defense and security sector, through unauthorized programs that place their lives and well-being at risk. Failure to comply will result in appropriate legal and regulatory action being instituted. At the time of filing this report, there has been no official statement from the Malado Travel Agency. Yusuf Mosiri Suma, SABC News, Freetown.
Now, across Sierra Leone's political landscape, tributes continue to pour in following the death of All People's Congress National Chairman, Honorable Minkalu Mansari. For decades, Mansari remained a prominent figure in national politics, serving as Member of Parliament, Minister of Labour and Social Security, Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources, and later, National Chairman of the All People's Congress Party. Beyond politics, family members, friends, and supporters remember him as a devoted husband, father, mentor, and community leader. Cecilia Ali Cisse reports from the late Vance politicians and residents.
The atmosphere here at the residence of late Honorable Alhaji Minkailu Mansare is one of grief, reflection and remembrance. Family members, political associates, friends and supporters have been visiting throughout the day to pay their respect to a man whose political journey spanned more than 2 decades and left a lasting mark in Sierra Leone's governance and democratic process. Born in Tonkolili district and raised in Freetown, Alhaji Minkailu Mansare built his early career in the insurance sector, working with the Sierra Leone National Insurance Company before entering active politics and even in the then SLBS. He was a graduate of Wabe College and became a respected figure within the All People's Congress Party. His rise through the APC ranks was steady and remarkable, from youth activism within the party to becoming a member of parliament between 2002 to 2007. Mansare established himself as one of the party's most influential voices. Following the APC's victory in 2007, he was appointed Minister of Labour and Social Security, where he served until 2010 before taking up the position of Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources. In that role, he oversaw key reforms aimed at strengthening governance in the mining sector and promoting responsible resource management. Throughout his years in public service, colleagues often described him as calm, approachable, and deeply committed to national development.
He was very clear in his leadership. He was not somebody that, was hypocritical about his leadership or his direction. And he led with integrity, he led with credibility, and also he provided that mentorship and a clear directive as to where he really wanted us and where he would want to see the party in the future. He was that clear, direct leader, one that groomed so many young people, one that reached out across the aisle, and also made us understand that the ideologies of the party were important, but more so the unity and the development of the state was much more important than anything else.
At home, he was equally devoted to family life, married to Mabinti Mansare, popularly known as Auntie K, with 6 children, 2 sons and 4 daughters, and a large extended family. Relatives say, despite the demands of public office, he remained actively involved in family matters and maintained close relationships with those around him.
He's a father figure, a very dedicated man, a very humble man, and a man for the people. He's a man of a high caliber. He's a man who is soft-spoken. He's a man who loves people, and he's a man who has given a service to this nation.
He taught me as a child, his own son. He paid my school and my college fees, everything about me.
Within the APC, Mansare continued rising through the ranks, serving as Deputy National Chairman before eventually becoming National Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the party.
When the APC was at the brink of collapse, he showed leadership, especially running up to 2023. History will remember Minkailu Mansare for being one patriotic. He's a patriot. Even though he was reprimanded, he was attacked, for him to have staged a violent demonstration against the incumbent government for the elections that were rigged, he did not. Instead, he negotiated until we had been to many agreement for national unity and later the tripartite recommendations.
Even political opponents acknowledged his contributions to national dialogue, democratic governance, and party organization. Following news of his passing, tributes emerged from across political divide, including President Julius Maada Bio, Vice President Julie Diallo, and the First Lady Fatima Bio, describing him as a dedicated public servant whose impact would be remembered for years to come. Now, Sierra Leone prepares to bid farewell to one of its veteran political figures. Many say his legacy will endure through the institutions he served, the people he mentored, and the countless lives he touched. As mourners continue to gather here, tributes are pouring in from across Sierra Leone and beyond. Supporters, colleagues, and family members, Alhaji Minkailu Mansare leaves behind more than political accomplishments. He leaves behind a legacy built on public service, party leadership, and a dedication to national development. His voice may now be silenced, but the impact of his life and work will continue to resonate in Sierra Leone's political landscape for years to come. Reporting for SLB News, I'm Cecilia Alice Sisse.
You are watching News R, reaching you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation Television on Channel 31. Continue to more reports. Now on diplomacy. As part of ongoing efforts to strengthen the enforcement of decisions of the courts across ECOWAS member states, the Community Court of Justice, ECOWAS, has convened its second meeting of competent national authorities, or CNAs, in the Republic of Benin. The three-day meeting under the theme From Commitment to Framework, operationalizing a collaborative architecture for the enforcement of ECOWAS court judgments, brought together designated competent national authorities from ECOWAS member states, representatives of ECOWAS Commission and the ECOWAS Parliament, legal experts and senior officials of the courts. It also saw an assessment of annual enforcement reports submitted by member states, discussion on common challenges affecting compliance, particularly human rights cases, and identifying practical solutions to improve enforcement of judgments. The engagement did not only deepen collaboration among the courts, but also competent national authorities. The ECOWAS Commission and the Parliament set to establish a more robust and coordinated compliance mechanisms, and also formalizing a structured CNA forum for cooperation, peer learning, information sharing, and mutual accountability among national enforcement authorities. The meeting continued with a clear mandate, encouraging member states who have yet to designate their competent national authorities to do so, to ensure full operationalization of the regional enforcement framework. Now, away from there, the Ministry of Internal Affairs has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Inter-Religious Council of Sierra Leone. The initiative is aimed at strengthening peace, safety, and security across the country. The agreement established a cooperative framework to prevent lawlessness, violence, and drug abuse nationwide. Aminata Saise witnessed the ceremony at the ministry's headquarters in Freetown.
The signing ceremony was witnessed by key security stakeholders, including the Sierra Leone Police and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, underscoring a unified national effort towards maintaining stability. As part of the initiative, religious leaders have been encouraged to use their various platforms to disseminate information that promotes peace, safety, and security, while discouraging violence, crime, and drug-related activities within their communities. Some of the key objectives highlighted during the event included fostering peace at community level, with religious leaders recognized as vital actors in influencing positive social behavior and promoting harmony. The Minister of Internal Affairs, Mori Lengo, said the Inter-Religious Council was crucial in achieving national security goals. He said addressing societal challenges greatly depends on the active involvement of religious institutions.
Sometimes even in our communities, when certain things happen, when people do not seem to have answers to those problems, they say, let me go to the priest, or let me go to the imam, because they know they will find solution and solace. And we did that. And we saw the results. When you came in, the churches, the mosques, they took on the fight morally. and spiritually. And today we say thank God, Alhamdulillah.
The Vice President, Interreligious Council, Alhaji Sise, reaffirmed the Council's commitment to advocacy, particularly in disseminating critical security information to help foster peace and national cohesion.
Really delved into the document proper. And I can say that the intentions of this document are well grounded, and we should only look forward to success. In Islam, the value of our actions are based on the intentions. So I pray that the good intentions of this document will reflect and manifest in the successful implementation.
The Inspector General of Police, William Fayaselu, described the occasion as a milestone for the security sector, as religious bodies have played a vital role of peace building and reconciliation in Sierra Leone. Meanwhile, the Director of Operations at the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Ibrahim Kabo, said the Interreligious Council has been an integral stakeholder in the development, validation, and implementation of strategies to combat drug abuse. It described the involvement as highly impactful. The partnership marked a renewed commitment among governments, religious institutions, and security agencies to work collaboratively in safeguarding peace and promoting national development. SLBC News are in Freetown. Aminata Saise reporting.
Now comes to strengthen peace and security within the country, now to education. But on a sad note, as Nyakwi Secondary School of Excellence, known as the first female science secondary school in Kenema, is now at the center of growing fear and uncertainty following the repeated fire outbreaks that continue to disrupt school activities and threaten infrastructure. My colleague Emmanuel Williams takes up the story.
The latest fire incident reportedly occurred at about 1:35 a.m., completely destroying a major classroom, including examination office, staff room, and ICT lab. School authorities say the fire started in a single classroom before spreading rapidly, a pattern similar to previous incidents. Despite the extensive damage, the principal confirmed that all the pupils are safe and have been sent home as a safety measure following an emergency meeting with stakeholders. The situation has sparked mixed reaction within the community. While some residents suspect possible involvement of pupils, others are calling for a full-scale investigation into the cause of the repeated fire. In a surprising moment, according to the principal, one pupil claimed she had dreamt about the school being burnt to ashes before the incident occurred. The destruction of key facilities, especially the ICT lab and examination office, posed a serious setback for school activities, particularly for examination classes. Authorities say consultations are ongoing to determine the way forward, while parents have been asked to take their children home until further notice. With 4 fire incidents recorded in just 5 months, concerns are mounting over safety, security, and the future of the prestigious school. Many are now calling for urgent government intervention to protect lives and restore learning conditions. For SLBC News, Emmanuel Williams reporting.
Still on education, have you ever imagined a school will support another school with innovation, furniture, and other essential items? So the International Secondary School Limited has demonstrated that kind gesture. This time it constructed a main culvert and refurbished 2 classrooms for the Church of Christ Primary School in Tembletown. Emmanuel Williams again with the story.
School Limited, the proprietor.
The handing over of 2 dustbins, Veronica buckets, to the Church of Christ Primary School in Tembletown was to promote sanitation. International Secondary School Limited renovated 2 classrooms and refurnished them with furniture. Before now, the classrooms were in a very bad shape and learning was very uncomfortable for the school children. To ensure the safety of the pupils, the benefactor constructed a slab on the drainage in the school compound, as its previous State pose a serious threat to well-being of the children. The gesture by the International Secondary School Limited brought smiles on the faces of not only the pupils but the school administrators as well.
School in this community, Tembeta, pray that you always remember us, because the children that attend this school, they are vulnerable children. Some of them, we brought them from the provinces to come and attend this school. So really, we appreciate what you have done. May God bless you.
The International Secondary School Limited said they undertook such venture to show kindness to other learning institutions which are not financially strong.
Our school, we are commemorating to give a helping hand and donating the tables and chairs to this school. Thank you.
It was not the first time the International Secondary School had helped government-assisted and community primary schools with learning materials and strengthening their infrastructure. For LCBC News, Emmanuel Williams reporting.
You are still watching News Hour, reaching you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation Television on Channel 31 and across our social media streaming platforms. Still in the news, now in court. Abubakar Jallow, a man who allegedly inflicted severe injuries on the hands of a child, has appeared before Justice Simeon Aliyu on 2 counts, causing grievous bodily harm with intent to disable a child and physical violence resulting to amputation of a child's forearms. Our court reporter Mohammed Simikoma was in court.
The defendant, Abubakar Jallow, appeared before the court on 2-count charges, causing grievous bodily harm with intent to disable, contrary to Section 18 of the Offences Against the Person Act of 1861, and child torture, contrary to Section 19 of the Child Rights Act of 2025. According to the particulars of offense, on 12 February 2026, the defendant allegedly inflicted severe injuries on the hands of a child, Mustafa Kanu, thereby causing grievous bodily harm with the intention to disable him. Count 2 states that the defendant, on the same date and address, subjected the child to physical violence resulting to amputation of his forearms. When the charges were read and explained to him, Jallow pleaded guilty to count 1 and not guilty to count 2. State Counsel Yusuf Isaac Sise applied for an adjournment to enable the prosecution to prepare submissions on sentencing in respect of the count to which the defendant pleaded guilty, as well as to determine how to proceed with the second count, which remains contested. In response, Justice Simeon Aliyu noted that the defendant was now a convicted person on count 1 by virtue of his guilty plea. He directed the prosecution to be prepared to proceed with the matter to address the court on sentencing at the next hearing. Meanwhile, there was no legal representation for the defendant, Abubakar Jallow. The matter was adjourned to 18th June 2026. For SLBC, Mohammed Koma reporting.
And now, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and Transnational Organized Crime Unit, or TOCO, have jointly destroyed illicit drugs like tramadol, cocaine, and marijuana, among others. The Executive Director, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Andrew Kaikai, said the illegal substances worth over 1.5 million United States dollars. Abdul Mansari witnessed the burning of the drugs at TOCO's headquarters, Hastings, in our reports.
The exercise drew a wide range of drug enforcement bodies to destroy a very large scale of illicit drugs. The executive director of NDNEA, Andrew Kaikai, announced that a total of $1,525,000 of narcotics, including marijuana and cocaine, was destroyed. He emphasized the importance of such exercise in building public confidence in the justice system.
The tramadol tabedol alone, what will they destroy today? Now, a street market value of 1.5 million United States dollars. When you mix that with the cocaine, now a total today of 1,525,000 United States dollars. Now they destroy today. That don't mix the Jabba, the window again, you get some ecstasy now.
Head of Toku, Michael Aga, said collaboration was crucial in the seize and destruction of these illicit substances. He expressed gratitude to the Sierra Leone police and various partners for their unwavering support in the fight against drug abuse and trafficking.
The fight against drug trafficking cannot be won by law enforcement alone. It requires assistance, participation of communities, family, educational institutions, religious organizations, civil society, and every responsible citizen.
Senior Technical Advisor to the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Amadou Mana, reported that there has been an increase in arrests recently because of the coordination in the security sector. Director of Serious Organized Crime, Sir Mosiri, addressed ongoing efforts to intercept containers suspected of carrying drugs. Mosiri said that measures were being implemented to prevent the possessing of these containers. He also condemned institutions involved in drug trafficking. Despite efforts put to destroy those drugs, there were people who tried to frustrate the process by breaking Toku fence to retrieve the drugs while burning. However, police officers were working on strategic security measures. SLBC News, Abdul Mansari reporting.
A team from OIC Comstek in Pakistan has begun training session for health workers and administrators on maternal and newborn care services. It was also geared towards building their capacity on how to manage high-risk factors leading to maternal death and stillbirths. Yusuf Mosi Suma has more in this report.
The training targeted health workers and administrators of the Princess Christian Maternity Hospital in Freetown. Key areas the training focused on: how to manage childbirth-related emergencies. The team also looked at timely intervention and early detection of signs of high-risk factors on maternal death and stillbirth. Deputy Minister of Health 1, Dr. Charles Senesi, expressed excitement and thanked the trainers from OIC Comstek for their intervention. He said such move was to complement the efforts of the ministry in strengthening the health sector.
Indeed, this is to be added value because as a Minister of Health, we look at holistic response to the health delivery system. We call it the life stage model, and we are happy they are going to home in on the key areas of our life. Our flagship program, maternal health and newborn care. That's very critical for us. For most of us who come here at most unexpected time, I'm very passionate about maternal and child health.
Head of delegation from Pakistan, Professor Dr. Said Hassan Allah, said the death rate of maternal death in the Asia and African continent is alarming, and it signals there are gaps in the fight against maternal mortality.
Signals emit in the third world, especially in Asia and Africa. These women are dying because of the problems or emergency problems that we do not, unfortunately, we are not providing them for any reason. Either loss, we do not have the logistics, we do not have the medicine, these women do not able to come to our hospitals, or we do not have the expertise, we do not have the workforce, we don't have the capacity building.
Medical Superintendent of the Princess Christian Maternity Hospital, Dr. Amadou Say, described the training as timely as the country gears towards fighting maternal death in Sierra Leone. He said cases of maternal death has reduced drastically at the Princess Christian Maternity Hospital.
CMH has actually made significant progress in terms of reducing maternal death and improving on maternal and newborn health outcomes. For example, between 2024 and 2025, we saw a drastic reduction in the numbers of maternal deaths in the hospital. It reduced from 84 deaths in 2024 to just 64 deaths in 2025. That is about 22%. And it's something that we are happy about. Even though we don't want to see any woman die, we aim for zero. But I think we are on the right track to
achieve that goal of ensuring that no woman dies of preventable causes when they come to our facility for childbearing.
He called on trainees to execute maternity care professionally and encourage pregnant women in communities to visit health facilities frequently. One of the participants, Dr. Anthony Osbao, lauded the team for the training and said it will help them greatly in their daily work. SLBC News, Yusuf Mosire Suma, Freetown.
Still with health-related reports, the Sierra Leone Pediatric and Neonatal Nurses Association has been launched. Its mission is to strengthen specialized nursing care, promote professional development, and advocate for policies that support the health and well-being of children and newborns across the country. Alwyn Roy Fox tells us more.
Formally declare the launch of the Sierra Leone Pediatric and Neonatal Nurses.
Healthcare professionals, development partners, government officials, and stakeholders gathered at the President Julius Maada Bio Pediatric Center of Excellence in Freetown for the official launch ceremony held under the theme Prevent Infection, Protect Every Newborn. The event marked the formal introduction of an association dedicated to improving the survival, health, and well-being of newborns and children across Sierra Leone.
Our association was born out of a shared passion to give every child in Sierra Leone the best possible start in life. As pediatric and neonatal nurses, we stand at the front line of care. We hold tiny hands, comfort worried mothers, and work tirelessly each day to reduce child and newborn mortality in our communities.
The program manager, Infection Prevention and Control, Nana Fofana, said it was important to prevent infection in neonatal and pediatric care. She told the nurses that they have critical roles in reducing preventable infections through various measures.
Infections remain a major contributor to neonatal illness and death worldwide. Yet many of these infections are preventable through simple but effective measures such as hand hygiene, environmental cleanliness, sterile procedures, safe delivery practices, and early recognition of infection risks. As nurses and midwives, we are uniquely positioned to make the greatest impact, whether in the labor ward, neonatal intensive care units, pediatric wards, community health centers, or in an outreach setting. Our actions can mean the difference between life and death of our newborns.
The association also unveiled its website and social media platforms designed to improve communication, professional networking, knowledge sharing, and public engagement. Stakeholders and development partners described the launch as a significant milestone for Sierra Leone's health sector, noting that a strong and coordinated pediatric and neonatal nursing workforce is essential for reducing preventable death and improving healthcare outcomes for children. SLBC News, Alwyn Roy Fox reporting.
From the launch of the SLPNNA, we'll now take a pause on our menus items and go in for segment within the news. But that is begin with our international news updates.
This is the international news, and I am Cecilia Alice Cisse. Israeli forces have carried out new strikes in southern Lebanon, state media say, despite renewed criticism from U.S. President Donald Trump of Israel's actions in the country. Trump said Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu needed to be more responsible with respect to Lebanon. Speaking at the G7 summit, he also said that Israel had been fighting Hezbollah for too long and too many people have been killed. Both Israel and Hezbollah have carried out attacks against each other since the US-Iran agreement was announced. Iran's foreign minister, Abbas, has warned that it would view any Israeli attack on Lebanon or continued Israeli military presence in Lebanese territory as a violation of the interim agreement with the US. Now, both sides were expected to sign the deal on Friday in the Swiss resort of Bürgenstock. Away from that, Equatorial Guinea's government has resigned after failing to meet the objectives. The Prime Minister had presented the resignation of all members of the government because it had barely reached 10% of its target. He did not specify the target, but a statement by the ruling party said the president had observed that the government fostered corruption and failed to diversify the economy. The Vice President said the resignation was in line with the principle that responsibility in public management must be accompanied by results. Equatorial Guinea's economy is heavily reliant on petroleum, with oil and gas accounting for most of its exports and revenues. Now, in spite of its oil wealth, much of its 1.8 million population has not benefited as poverty remains rampant. And Tunisian authorities repatriated nearly 100 migrants from sub-Saharan Africa under a so-called voluntary return initiative that has involved almost 5,000 people over the past year. He said the government initiative takes into account humanitarian and social aspects alongside judicial and security constraints. Rights groups had in 2023 reported that an estimated 25,000 migrants had gathered in camps in that region on the poor, unsanitary conditions after they were driven out of major cities. Now, alongside neighboring Libya, Tunisia had been a key departure point for migrants seeking to make the perilous journey across the Mediterranean in search for better lives in Europe. And finally, on the international news, South Africa has become a hostel place for undocumented migrants as a deadline set by protesters for foreigners to leave the country approaches. As the countdown continues, President Cyril Ramaphosa warned South Africans that the scapegoating of vulnerable people was not the solution to the country's complex economic challenges. In a special national address earlier this month, the president warned that no individual or group have the right to demand proof of nationality from people in public spaces and said government would act against them. Now, there is no space for xenophobia, racism, sexism, Afrophobia, or any other forms of intolerance in South Africa, he said. And that's the end of international news on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation in Freetown. I'm Cecilia Alice to say goodbye.
Many thanks to Cecilia Alice for bringing us up to speed with happenings taking place across the world. It's now time for our business updates.
Hello and welcome to the Business Update, the segment that brings you the latest in business and its contributions on the economy. I am Alwyn Roy Fox. Coming up in today's edition, we take a look at the poor harvest and transport costs as a major cause of increase in pepper prices. And now, for many households across Sierra Leone, pepper is more than just a spice. It is an essential ingredient in daily cooking. However, in recent weeks, the price of pepper has surged sharply, causing concern among both traders and consumers. Our business reporter, Kadia Tuture, visited the Dovecourt market in Freetown to find out what is driving the increase and how it is affecting people.
I'm here at Dovecourt market to assess the sudden increment in the price of pepper sold in the previous weeks at 5 euros. It's now priced at 12 and 10 euros. Traders say the rise is as a result of the late rains and transportation fare. A quantity of pepper that previously sold for 5 leons is now between 10 and 12 leons. Traders attribute this to many factors, not limited to late rainfall.
So the sun is very hot. It disturbs Boku plantation there.
The weather has been very hot and it's destroyed many of the pepper farms. Most of the good quality pepper we are getting now comes from Liberia, and it is very expensive to buy and transport.
But right now, Liberia pepper now they manage.
Traders say transportation costs have also increased, making it even more expensive to bring pepper from farming areas to the capital. The increase is also being felt by consumers, many of whom say they can no longer afford to buy pepper in the quantities they used to.
And I don't have miss the price don't go up, so I get to put down some budget.
Pepper is very expensive now. I used to buy 15 cups whenever I come to the market, but because of price increase, I can only afford 10 cups. It is affecting my household budget.
And I 15 cups I don't buy 10 cups because we not reach to the budget.
As the cost of living continues to rise, many families say they are finding it very difficult to cope with the high food prices. For SLBC News, Kadiatu Ture reporting.
And many thanks to Kadiatu Ture for that report. Well, that's all we can share in today's edition of Business Updates. I've been your presenter, Alwyn Wayfolk. Stay tuned.
Many thanks indeed to all you folks and the business team. Up next on News Hour is our entertainment news.
Hello and welcome to Entertainment News with me, Slamat Baba Toure. In this edition of Entertainment News, we are going to give you a rundown of the SLBC's 16th anniversary celebration. Now, it's 16 years from SLBS to SLBC. Your voice, my voice. Yes, it's been 16 years since the transition from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Service to the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, SLBC. And, after hard work, after, interviews, hosting guests to talk about issues around the country in entertaining, informing, and educating people, the SLBC staff, management, and board decided to, celebrate the 16th year in a grand way. They had a get-together, volleyball, music, miming. Of course, they had dancing competition, eating race, and a host of other entertaining activities. We have insert for you guys because you were not here to celebrate with us, but you can watch it and enjoy. Let's see how it went.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. You are greatest, you are holy one. Walked upon the sea and raised the dead. I keep on walking, even when I'm through. Nobody
we celebrate 16 years of existence. The transition. Well, this is all we have for you in this edition of Entertainment News. I've been your presenter, Staman Babatume. Thanks for watching and keep watching the SLBC.
And the entertainment team for bringing us those entertaining scenes, especially having to do with the public service broadcaster. And I'm sure you must have giggled a lot. Up next on News Hour is our sport updates.
Hello and welcome to the sporting updates that keeps you in the know. By the way, my name is Abdul Kabi and thank you so much for your time. Eastern Lions Football Club has officially unveiled their 2026-2027 official kit to a colorful ceremony. Here is a snippet of that event.
Go now stadium for go land them, boy. As back and pan go la mama do ya one water. I do please. Gentle group and free money. So now, me as the chairman, Ambassador Anthony Navo, had a pledge 20 million each for the two jersey. I'll tell you how we've been glued to Easter Lions as kids. Going back overseas, thanks to Mosiye Fadika, may his soul rest in peace. He bring me Gentle Alpha Jallo. I don't ever forget calling a Wilkinson Road. He said, "Bobo, no long come back. The club won't go down. Gunalo go take him."
You know, and funnily, most of other clubs that are free to here on a salon. Any executive where you go of all the member clubs that are salon, they all get Easter Lions member inside the executive. You know, Easter Lions is so great. It's a family where don't start from 1928, and from 1928, waiting the parent be do, they try to get a unity within themselves. If I tell you, say, we forget religious tolerance today in this country, Easter Lions, I will tell you, say, it's the backbone.
But always they tell them, say, Easter Lions come first. Because they are born. So no way I will therefore support Easter Lions. And I stand here proudly as a supporter, a fan, a member of Eastern Lions Football Club. And I think what we do here today is very important and very significant. Today is a profound moment for the club. You know, from almost in 2 years' time will be 100 years. And what a better time to start this journey. I'm really heartened by the statements from
the first club in this country that is going to go digital on payments for entry to the stadium is going to be Eastern Lions. Please.
SLBC has marked a remarkable milestone, 16th anniversary in terms of excellence in broadcasting.
Volleyball matches, three-legged races, eating competitions, music and dancing contests were among the highlights of the celebrations, bringing together staff from different departments in a relaxed and competitive atmosphere. Management described the event as an opportunity to strengthen relationships among staff and foster teamwork beyond the workspace. Deputy Director General Mohamed Asimi Uba said the large turnouts and sense of togetherness demonstrated the growth and maturity of the institution.
16 years. If not picking, like I said this morning, you don't done primary, you done in secondary, you're ready for go university. You don't begin see hope para picking day. Another hope they would only begin seeing at SLBC. So this is a moment of joy, a moment of celebration.
Despite the excitement and celebrations, Mr. Ba called on staff to remember colleagues who helped establish the corporation but are no longer alive, after which a minute of silence was observed.
They go say, let us not forget some of the colleagues that we've been there with where we start this journey in 2010. Some as early as last year, some of them left way. So make we observe a minute of silence for our colleagues Zende.
The Director General of SLBC, Josephine Fatima Kamara, said the anniversary sports activities reflected the talent and potential that exists within the corporation.
We look forward and pray, say, wait till I see so. Now, Lily, that thing won't have been on a cry for. Then can say in Jesus' name or inshallah, it can happen.
Board Chairperson William James commended staff and management for organizing the sporting event despite the challenges facing the corporation.
Did you tell me say that from among the staff na data initiative they come out? So we want to tell God thank you for our lives then, that the staff that they come up with such very laudable initiative, at least for make una self gladdy. Where una dey work, you know, not to all time work, because the kind way una dey work, una self no say na like magic, because we get constraints with equipment, we get constraints with how we dey. The other day fire can so and so many challenges we get. But for let we come up with idea for make we all glad here, for make we all unite, it's a laudable idea.
While the activities produced winners on the field of play, organizers say the biggest victory was the spirit of teamwork, unity and friendship displayed by staff as SLBC celebrated 16 years of broadcasting excellence. Winners of the different events were presented with prizes the following day as the celebrations continued.
And that ends the update, and thank you so much for watching.
Many thanks to Abu Kabir for bringing us the updates that always keeps you in the know. From sports we bring news to you close. But a quick recap of your headlines. A 20-feet container capsized at the Hillside Bypass Road by Gaza area, causing traffic jam in the early hours of today, Wednesday 17 June. Many called on authorities concerned to do the needful. Uke Commercial Bank has officially taken over the management of Union Trust Bank. According to the Governor of Bank of Sierra Leone, Dr. Ibrahim Stevens, the resolution came into effect late yesterday, 16th June, after a thorough forensic review of an independent institution. And finally, Ministry of Employment, Labour and Social Security has summoned Malado Travel Agency on allegations of taking Sierra Leoneans to Qatar in the name of seeking employment on their behalf. And that's the news which came to you from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation Television on Channel 41. Many thanks for watching, and thanks indeed for the pleasure of your company. Also be on the lookout for a fresh edition of the news coming your way tomorrow, starting at 8. Until then, keep having a very fine time with your public service broadcaster, the SLBC, your trusted news source and the authentic voice of Sierra Leone. Have a splendid night rest. Keep watching. I am Dennis Fraser. Good night.